as our blue Protoss. Not really able to make as much happen in that game as he wanted to. Give it up for Ro12.
And over in the left position, one of the most inspirational, aggressive Zergs of all time, it is Azubu's viOLet.
I like how you said that, because for the longest time, I modeled my Zerg play on viOLet. The way in which he was playing Zerg when he suddenly sprung onto the MLG scene, he was playing a brand of Zerg that wasn't like any other Zerg. He was playing this really aggressive style and like, say for example, he would just send, you know, drone scouts out, block Nexus positionings with hatcheries and stuff like that, then cancel, go down the evolution chamber. Just that kind of little extra plays makes playing Zerg so entertaining against some races.
And you know, it's kind of funny because Stefano obviously heralded as the big foreign Zerg, one of the most respected players in the world, actually really defined what the standards are in ZVT and ZVP. And created this style that's straightforward, that's macro-focused, where you just get a lot of stuff and overrun the opponent. But viOLet, I have tried hard to mimic viOLet's style, and it requires such incredible on-the-fly decision-making because you have units at such weird times that you have to know exactly when to counterattack, exactly when to defend. And as a result, I mean, myself included, many others who try to mimic viOLet's style struggle when they're trying to mimic because it's so easy to botch and lose. As we saw in that last game, viOLet was just on the verge of losing 10 times or so, but still found a way to win. That's what makes it just so mystifying to me to watch viOLet. Like, how does he just keep pulling these great decisions off?
I don't know. Again, you know, I think he plays the race that is definitely best to suit his style, his mindset of the game. He plays that super reactionary race, that the ability to just swing in and out of aggression and droning and aggression and droning. And just, I mean, one or two facts about these players, or one fact at least, both of these players, I mean, it's very rare to have personal sponsorship in StarCraft 2 nowadays, but both of these players are of that personal sponsorship caliber here. And a little personal note for me, I'm actually very good friends with both of their player managers, so I'm in a tight bind as both of them are here. I need to be as unbiased as possible.
Well, fortunately, these players make bias hard to do because they're both just good. All you have to do is marvel at their sexy play. And actually, speaking of sexy and totally arousing Dark Templar usage, I'm remembering Elfi's game against Slivko yesterday, where he went for this incredible DT harass. Even though Elfi lost, he killed off 79 drones with Dark Templars within a 20-minute game. It was incredible what he was able to do.
There was literally around 140 or so drones made during that game, and it wasn't even one of those ridiculously long games. We saw Elfi stuck on 2 base for so long in that game. So I think actually we could potentially see Elfi go for the same play here. It worked so well for him on Metropolis against Slivko, and I don't see why he wouldn't mix it up here against viOLet in a best of 5 where, you know, things can really turn the tide for you.
Stalker popping out right now for Elfi. Loves that fast Stalker. So I think it's probably the most fun way to open. Right off the bat, you can harass. These overlords that viOLet has positioned are in good spots, but they're also vulnerable to a Zerg who studies a lot of games and sees where Zergs are likely to study, or excuse me, where they're likely to place their overlords.
Oh, and actually, we do not have Dark Templars on the way just yet.
That looks familiar.
It does a little bit, yeah. That Robo going down very quickly here. No gas second. There we go. There's the 3rd and 4th gas guys going down, unless he's actually not going to get the 4th in just a little bit. 3rd is on the way, though. There we go. There's the 4th. So Elfi, this can still lead into, you know, actually securing a 3rd with, you know, those Immortals. It depends on whether or not he's going to commit to like 1 or 2 observers there first to be able to scout out what's going on. Keep an eye on those attack paths down the middle of the map. But for now, he still has that option to go very aggressive on 2 base. Yeah,
I do think that Elfi is the sort of player who doesn't just do the big Immortal pushes. He does expand every now and again. He'll go Warp Prism every now and again. This timing looks kind of like a Warp Prism. Well, if he were to throw down another gateway, then it would look kind of Warp Prism-y, but looks like he is going for the more typical +1. Just trying to look as normal and non-threatening as possible, but you know that when Elfi gets out, he's just going to be as aggro as possible.
And that one Stalker for now actually poking forwards here against viOLet. The Zergling's trying to surround. Speed nowhere near done, so this Stalker will be able to get away unless some slight micro mishap does end up occurring. Immortal's being chrono boosted out here, as well as 2 more extra gateways going down for elfi. So this is looking a little bit scary at this point.
This is looking very two-base pushy.
Yeah.
I mean, holy God, did viOLet get that early. He started this layer before 7 minutes. That's just disturbingly fast layer play. Has his 3rd gas geyser down, so he's going to be well equipped to deal with any sort of actually, he's going to be equipped to deal with exactly this push, but there's only 6 gateways from never mind, there's 7.
I want to say quickly before it ends up occurring that we're probably going to see viOLet once again throw down an infestation pit here in order to be able to deal with this. He really does like going for that infestation tech to be able to eventually deal with the 2-base play of a Protoss. Now, sometimes, again, like in Game 1, you can end up losing your third hatchery, which is sometimes a little bit annoying, to say the least. But actually, that being said, he doesn't have any extra gas geysers here other than just the 2 in his main, so that would be really difficult to actually transition into.
Looks like right now viOLet's doing Roach Overlord.
Yeah.
Just trying to build up as much as he can, and now he's going to start flooding with lings. There it is. It looks like he will start to see this push. And is the Warp Prism now queued up? elfi hasn't done anything quite yet. Well...
it will be on the way.
There
you
it
go.
is.
Kaboom, kaboom, as elfi for now warping in plenty more Stalkers here to be able to reinforce this frontal push. And again, Metropolis works so well in terms of the architecture around the natural and main of your opponent. But look, viOLet setting herself up for exactly the same counterattack here.
I like this counterplay. In fact, I like Zergs who are even willing to sacrifice an expansion, flood their main with spine crawlers, and just go for a big play right there. elfi has walled himself off, but it is not going to be walled off for long.
No, not at all. Those Roaches and Zerglings going to work there on that pylon. It goes down in rapid succession as that Photon Cannon on the way as well. Right now, though, elfi going to push forward here. Force fields go down to try and separate a little bit of that. He's actually flooding through his own force fields here as he does get those sentries hit by spine crawlers. He wants to be very careful. 3 sentries died so quickly there, with another one to die very soon.
Looks like elfi is in a decent position at the front, but back in his main base, oh my God, the damage is huge. 29 probes, all that remain. viOLet now setting himself up to try to invade this force. 2 Immortals still remain, just roasting everything that's at the front lines, and elfi's decided, you know what, my main is dead and gone. I'm going to have to go for a kill right now if I want to hope to win this game, but in the Army Supply tab, we're seeing viOLet still taking a lead.
He's got to keep trying in. He has 4 sentries left, a little bit of energy on 1 or 2 of them here, but more Zerglings and drones actually being flooded once again. viOLet knows all he needs to do is hold this after the damage he's been able to do. He's killed off 18 probes of their opponent's base, and those Zerglings are getting some really good surface area on those Stalkers. More Zerglings and Roaches in production here, and as he swings forward once again, it's looking like elfi is almost down and out.
Oh gosh, elfi did the standard classic win all that Protosses have been losing to, or Protoss have been winning with again and again and again, and viOLet just swatting it aside with some excellent counterattack play. Not too little, not too much, and viOLet has successfully held off the all-in.
This needs to change from elfi, I think, in this series. Actually, we should talk about that after the GG here from elfi. viOLet's going up 2 games very quickly here against elfi. And, okay, so I think elfi needs to take a step back here. It's a sad thought that actually his 10-minute potential break is like 1 game away, because he could actually just not this couldn't twig in his mind, and he couldn't change. He might not be able to change up in this 3rd game, but this isn't working for him. viOLet knew this was coming. viOLet is preparing himself in a way with that little counterattack that is actually so clever. You don't see enough Zergs actually going for this small counterattack when knowing that this 2-base aggression is actually coming. And once you're able to kill off, say, 1 mineral line's worth of probes in your opponent's main, your opponent can't afford 8 gateways worth of reinforcements.
Yeah.
They can only afford, you know, the 3 or 4-ish. It's very difficult for elfi to constantly power out that aggression at the front just for the sacrifice of 5 Roaches and 10 Lings at the front of your opponent's base.
I also think another thing that's kind of coming back to haunt elfi here is that this build that elfi did is one of these, any Protoss can do it.
Yeah.
Any Protoss who's mid-masters or higher can do that build. It's good because it's a good build, and it doesn't take advantage of the fact that elfi's a good player. One of the reasons I like the Phoenix opening that we saw out of elfi is that it demands skill. It's better the more skillful you are. You can't be so good that your immortals come out twice as fast or something like that. So Elfi ran headlong into viOLet saying, no, I prepare for all those standards. I'm actually fine. What I want to see out of Elfi on this game on Ohana, some sort of tweaked out immortal dance. I don't really know. Maybe an Irish immortal dance. But I want to see out of Elfi something that gears up towards a third base, something that gears